to talk about this. Right now, you're going to listen to me.
Órale, Cholo Trucker Mas movies and shows. And man, here it is, Karate Kids Legends. All right, we went ahead, gave you guys the whole weekend, like it says right there, 100% spoilers. We are not holding back. So if you do not want the movie to be spoiled for you, click off, man, because we're not holding back at all. We're going to tell you exactly what happened and what we thought about the movie as well. And let me go ahead and bring in from Two Face Entertainment One, Mr. Fred Segura.
What's up, my brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you, man. It's good to be back on here, bro. It's good. I am so ready. I am so ready for this, man. I'm
Yeah,
excited about it, bro.
hey, Fred, let me ask you, man, because we were on here last week and I told you I'm going to go see it.
Yeah,
Because you were on the fence of
yeah.
of going to watch it or not. What made you pull the trigger?
You know what, bro? I just, I slept on it, bro. I really slept on it, and I was like, you
Mm,
know what? I kept thinking the reviews, and I said, you know what? I need to go watch it for myself, right? And then I said, okay, you know what? What pulled the trigger was that was part of it. The main thing was it was my birthday on Friday. You know,
mm,
I turned 25 again. Anyways, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna spend time with with my girl on that evening or whatever. She's not into the Karate Kid thing. You know, I said, I better go early. You know, so I'm not even gonna gonna front on here, bro. I'm not gonna lie about it. It was about 7 something in the morning, and I looked to
mm.
see, around 10:30, 11 o'clock it'll start, I looked, it said the next showing at 8:10. I got ready and boom, I was out the door, dude. I was out the door, bro, and I got there, and I got there right before the trailer started playing, so I got there with good timing, bro. And I got there with good timing, and you know what? It was just, it became, for a guy that was on the fence, it became a mission to go see it now at that point, And I'm glad I
Yeah.
did. I'm glad
Yeah,
I did.
okay. For me, I knew I was gonna watch it right from the jump. I was gonna go
Yeah.
watch it on a Friday, and I had bought my ticket well in advance. Um, yeah, I do a boxing show every Friday. Shots Los Tres Chingones Boxing, and as soon as I
Mhm.
was done with that show, went to the movie theater. Well, went to stop to get something to eat, then went to the movie theater. Um, yeah, it was just a mission for me to watch it as well, man. Let me go
Yeah.
ahead and say this, man, before we get into the movie.
Yes.
The advertisement for this movie, Fred, was terrible. I mentioned
Yeah.
that last week, but I want to
Yes.
make that 100% clear. I did not see a big buzz about this movie. I did not see a lot of advertisement about this movie. It almost seemed
Yes.
like it was the same trailer over and over and over, unless you yourself go and start looking at different trailers that are out there. But for the
Yeah.
most part, they were all kind of the same. I was under the assumption that this movie took place in China, right? Until last week when I went into the description, I said, oh, no, it takes place in New York. This
Yes.
movie just wasn't advertised right. Did you see? And by the way, coming off the heels of Cobra Kai, which has incredible reviews and rightfully so, one of
Yes.
the best shows out there in recent history, especially if you're gonna talk about something that's so old school from the 1980s, and you're gonna start this
Mhm.
show, a lot of people can say like, oh, this isn't gonna be good, good
Yeah.
gosh, man, it surpassed everybody's expectation.
Correct.
And you got this movie to keep the momentum going. And I'm not talking about the movie itself. I'm just talking about the advertisement. I think they did a piss poor job, Fred. Don't you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. You know what they did, because even the trailer, the little bit that they showed it there, it just kind of was really vague, really kind of like nothing exciting about it. It just kind of like, yeah, and not over and over. It was just kind of like, oh, hey, Karate Kid Legends. That's it. And they made it seem like they're. I think here's the biggest mistake that they did on that too as well. not only was it bad, marketing, they made it seem like it was Jackie Chan and Daniel LaRusso, or Mr. Han and and Daniel LaRusso, like full fledged in the movie, and then the expectations for the fans was, what they thought it was going to be, and it was far from. And I think that just makes it seem bad. I think that's what makes it seem bad to people. To unlike us, like when we saw the reviews, we kind of pulled back a little bit and then kind of went in with a more open mind about it. I mean, that's just my thoughts on it, how I see it. But as far as the marketing, because I believe that there was a trailer at the Super Bowl, during the Super Bowl, if I remember correctly.
I believe
You
so.
know,
Yes, I believe
but
so.
but still, even then, it wasn't like, okay, like it just didn't do much.
I at that time Cobra Kai was still going on.
Yeah,
It just this movie, I don't know, man. It just did not catch legs. It did not catch the hype. I didn't hear anybody talk about it. If I mentioned it, people would say like, "Oh, when does that come out?" It's not like nobody. It's not like anybody marked it
yeah,
down on their calendar. Nobody even knew when it was coming out. It was. I don't know, man. I thought they did a bad, horrible job in promoting this movie. I don't
yeah,
think it. And like I said, coming off of Cobra Kai, which everybody loved,
yeah.
I gosh,
You
they
would
really
think,
dropped the ball on the marketing
yeah,
aspect when it comes to this movie because I don't, I didn't hear any uproar about it. So, all
yeah,
right, man. Before we get into our thoughts and into the
uh-huh,
movie, let me go ahead and say this. Last week, before you and I went to go watch the movie, I
uh-huh,
had said that Rotten Tomatoes had it at 55%. Now, Rotten Tomatoes has it at 59%. So it went up
mhm,
5 points of percentage.
mhm.
Fandango has it at 91%.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so they have it a heck of a lot higher than Rotten Tomatoes does. Um, I'm looking at the what came in a number one over the weekend. Something's a little confusing here. Are they re-showing a 2005 edition of Lilo and Stitch Part Two?
No,
Because
that's a new one that came out.
well,
Lilo and Stitch
let me
2 is
go.
the new one.
No, no, no. There's a
Oh,
Lilo and Stitch movie that came out right
uh-huh.
over the weekend, and
Yeah.
then coming in at number two, I
Oh,
see
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lilo and Stitch Part Two, 2005. So I don't know if they're replaying that at some movie theaters or something.
Oh, that's
Apparently,
right.
that's doing pretty good. And coming in at number three is Sinners. You know what's
Oh,
crazy is that
oh,
um, you have Mission Impossible,
yeah.
and that got beaten out by Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
Crazy,
Eh, eh,
crazy on that one.
Hey, you know what? Can I dare say it's this, the generation, I'm kidding. I'm just, yeah, it's just, where, where's our action guys at? Hey, hello, Morgan. Where's our action guys at, man? Where's the man movies, like, yeah, Mission Impossible. Like, no, this is like,
Listen. I'll go out on record and say I'm not into the Mission Impossible movies. I went to go
uh,
watch part one back in the '90s. I didn't
uh,
like it, and I haven't seen any after that.
oh,
So
dude. You know what? I'll say this. I will say this. Those movies, though, man, I'm going to tell you like this, my brother. They get better and better and better and better as it goes on. I
okay.
will say that. I will say that. Yeah, the first one was a little bit more, uh, and not to get into the Mission Impossible thing, right? But the first one was a little bit more dialogue, espionage. Kind of like, not too much action in it, like at all.
Mm, mm,
But the
mm.
second one, and then so on and so forth, it just gets better and better. It's almost like a James Bond kind of thing, but with action in it, bro. Yeah, they get better and better all the time. So yeah.
Mm. I appreciate that, Margaret. I think
Oh,
Fred is
thank
like
you.
way up on the other part of the branch, though. All right.
It's
Okay.
one
So
treaty
hey,
too granted. No,
let's get into the movie. Last week, you and
yeah,
I were on here alongside with our brother Robert Anthony. I don't think
yes,
he went to watch the movie, which is why I didn't even invite him to jump on here. But hopefully,
uh,
he gets a chance to go watch it. But okay, so we were on here and we were going over the reviews. So you and I went in to watch this movie already listening to the bad reviews. I did not hear
yeah,
not one good review. I heard the best review I heard was it's okay, it's decent.
yeah,
Outside of that, they were all bad. All right,
yeah.
Fred, you go into the movie theater. What's the first thing that captures you, man?
Okay, the popcorn. No, not for real. No, no. You, you know what?
You know what? There's something. Okay, let me tell you the first thing
Uh,
that captured me. Okay,
uh,
were the trailers to the movies before Karate Kid Legends.
okay.
This sucker had me on such a downer. I'm watching trailers to the I got in there with I don't know like a good 10 minutes before the movie starts.
Uh,
I get in there so I see every trailer for every movie that they're advertising that are going to come out. Every one of those things look like garbage, and I'm like, good gosh,
yeah.
man, I'm gonna hate this movie because they always try to like link in like certain movies. There's this
Yeah.
movie where this bridesmaid, she's a special agent, and
Oh,
it's like I'm like, good gosh, this is as stupid as it gets. I'm sitting there, I'm slapping my forehead, I'm like, gosh darn it, I am
there we
going to
go.
hate this movie, man. But that was the first thing that captured me. But all right,
Yeah.
Fred,
No,
hey, talk to
yeah,
us.
no.
Okay, this movie.
I didn't see
What?
good
Talk to
trailers.
us about the movie.
The one
Talk
that
to us about
the
the movie,
captain me
man.
about the movie. You know what? I'll put it to you like this. I went in and as I'm sitting there right before the trailer started, and you know, uh, ditto to you as well, my brother. I didn't not see one good trailer to be honest with you that I could be like,
Mm,
oh yeah, that was a good. I want to see this. So there was nothing like that. But the first thing that captured me about the film was I'm sitting there and I thought to myself, because I'm by myself. There's maybe like three of us in the theater at that time. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, you know,
okay.
and I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, you know what, man? I said, you know what? I'm just gonna, I open my mind. It's whatever. Just go with it. So I'm not gonna lie to you, man. From about, I want to say about 40 minutes into it, right?
Mm,
About 40
mm.
minutes into the film, I'm sitting there and I'm going, when does it get bad? When does it get bad? Because it had me, dude. I was like, this is pretty good. You know,
Okay.
I really thought that, man. I was like, what? I don't understand. I was like, okay, cool, and I just rolled with it. That was it. That's the first thing that caught me. Just like the first 40 minutes, I was like, okay, cool. You know, that,
Okay.
yeah,
The first thing that caught me was subtitles. So when you
oh
first
yeah,
go, the movie starts in China, in Beijing,
yes,
and it's all subtitles with Jackie Chan, with oh shoot, I forgot the kid's name already.
yeah. The kid,
Was it Lee?
the mom, or whatever.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
mom comes, and she's one of those actresses where it's like, hey, I've seen her in something, right?
yes,
But you don't really know what. I mean, she's the one that played Chun Li in the movie Street Fighter with Jean Claude Van Damme. She
uh,
was in the show Two and a Half Men. She dated Charlie at one point. She's one of those actresses where it's like I've seen her in a few things, but you just kind of throw things around like whatever scene her in. But
mm,
subtitles. So the movie starts in Beijing in China. Mom comes up to she doesn't want her son training to fight,
mm,
right? So it's kind of like a secret. And she got to break the news to him. Hey, we're moving to New York. She gives him a Mets hat. That's another thing that I
oh yeah,
realized.
yeah,
Everything was Mets. Nothing
yeah,
about the Yankees until the fight scene. I don't know if anybody else picked up
oh
on
yeah,
that, but I picked up on that, man. It's like everything was Mets. Here's a Mets hat. Here's a Mets jersey. You go to the pizza parlor, there's Mets. It's like,
yeah,
okay, everything's Mets, nothing Yankees. The first piece of Yankee art, clothing that I saw was once they got into the fight. And to the final fight scene, but
Yeah,
well,
the
not the
tournament
final
thing.
fight
Yeah,
scene, but the tournament, I should say. Yeah.
yeah,
So, but yeah, the subtitles is what stood out to me. I'm gonna say this, Fred.
uh,
The movie did move really fast. Like
yeah,
him and his love interest, he didn't really have to try, man. Like it just like it's like he just shows up into the pizza parlor and like they hit it off right away,
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything seemed pretty fast. Fred, how say you?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I kind of did see that too, though. But you see, watching it from the perspective that I saw it in, just from the first look that she gives to him, because he orders a stuffed crust, which becomes a joke,
Which
and they
becomes
call
a
him
joke.
stuffed
It
crust.
does. Yeah, yeah. It
And,
becomes his
and
fighting name, Stuffed Crust.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and he, and then she kind of like from the beginning, if you notice though, even the dad was a little rude to him, but she comes in to defend him, and she kind of you can see she kind of likes him. She's kind of digging him, or she's being a good a good service person in the place,
Mm.
And I think she was just like a little like just kind, you know what I mean? And that's how I saw it as, and then uh
Do
it was
we
just
okay?
awkward
Do
that
okay? Here, let me
okay.
okay. Let me throw this out there, man. Okay, first of all, I'm not really sure how many Italian chicks are into Asian dudes, but second of all, can't we do some casting right? Like he's a little bit shorter than her.
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
yeah, he was.
can we cast this stuff a little bit better? They stand next to each other, and she's a little
Yeah, yeah,
taller, but
yeah,
yet he steals her away from her, jerk boyfriend, right?
yeah.
And he's smaller than she is, and it's like I just like all right, okay, all right, that's fine, I guess that's cool. And then her Italian dad, who runs the pizza place, I guess
Yeah.
he's cool with it, but I guess it makes sense because they befriend one another, but um, it did work. They moved pretty fast. I was like,
Yeah.
huh,
Yeah.
okay, like all right. And then they come up with the deal, like, hey, I'll teach you Chinese, right? Because he gets her that deal with that
Yeah.
Chinese woman,
Yeah.
and you teach me New York. So they jump on the moped and they're moving around. And it's like, gosh, man, they're moving really fast for just
Eh,
barely meeting one another.
yeah. Yeah. And that was CGI, right? The moped scene was CGI too. I was like, what the heck? Like, why? I don't understand that. It's just like why? It's like,
New York traffic. I don't know if they really
yeah.
want to risk getting hit, man. Riding a moped.
You
He,
know what I thought of? Seriously, what I thought of when she said, "You know how to ride a moped, right?" And he was
mm,
like, "Oh," and then he's in the back. But see, I thought that was kind of like a I don't want to say a joke or anything, but I've seen from what I know, I've never been to China or anything, but I know that people drive around with mopeds over there, so I kind of assumed that
mm,
he would be like, yeah, and
right.
kind of. But no, he didn't. It was just kind of weird, that I did find weird in the movie. But as far as the movie fast, because when you said when they meet, and then the next day he's going home from school and she's unloading the truck, and then
Mm.
he just happens to run into her, like, dude, like your home was probably the other way, like you didn't have to go. I don't know, it was just weird. It
Yeah.
was a little awkward how they ran into each other.
Well, I mean, it just moved pretty damn fast with little to no effort for
Yeah,
them to really come together. And of course, she's the ex girlfriend of the guy who wins the champions called the Five Boroughs,
yes,
right? And they just happen
yeah,
to walk by the karate studio. And some dude is there, one of his homeboys, the main bad guy. He's got a ponytail. I don't really know much about this dude. You don't really.
yeah, yeah. You
Okay,
don't.
okay, okay. Let's get to this, Fred. Let's get to this. Let's get to
Yeah,
the villains, right? Because
yeah,
in the original Karate Kid, you get to know Cobra Kai, you get to know some of the villains, you get to know Johnny Lawrence. I don't remember the dude's name. And when it comes to the
yeah,
sensei, I don't know. That guy probably got what, like 10, maybe 15 minutes max of
yeah,
screen time. as
Yeah.
opposed to Kreese, right? Um,
Yes.
and here's the thing, like, okay, homie is from China, right? And
Yeah.
he's been doing martial arts his whole life. Okay. Now you got this American dude with a ponytail, and he trains. I give it up to him. He trains, and they have a showdown at school because
Yeah.
he still thinks that she's his property. And here comes this little Chinese kid from Beijing. As a matter of fact, that's what he calls him. He doesn't
Yeah.
call him by his name. He keeps calling him Beijing. You
Yeah.
sure you want to fight Beijing?
Yeah.
And I think they overdid it, Fred, in that fight scene at school where he's all like, "I'll make
Yeah.
it easy on you. I
Yeah.
won't use my hands." Puts his
Yeah.
hands in his pockets,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
here you got Mr. Beijing. He can't land a single punch or kick
Yeah.
on him, on an
Exactly.
American. Like, that to me is like, okay, don't make it that easy. At least in the original Karate Kid,
He punched him in the nose.
he socked him one little weak ass punch, but he socked him once, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, but in this case, you got him fighting this dude, and this guy's not even using his hands. He puts them in his pockets, and he
Yeah.
still whoops his ass. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, come on. I don't know.
They,
What's your thoughts on all that, Fred?
you know what? They did make him a little bit invincible. Like, I think it was a like low hanging fruit, if you will, because
Mm,
even when they first show the villain in there, they show him inside, right? And then if you notice, everybody's there like in black and whatever. He's the only dude in red, so he's standing out from everybody else. So
mm,
me, as I'm watching that, okay, I see the red. I go, but that's kind of obvious. Like I'm trying to see, okay, is he the villain or is there somebody else in there? Like I don't. But they're kind of like highlighting him. And
mm.
you're right about
Right.
the hands in the pocket. Yeah, they made him seem a little invincible, man. And well, I won't get that far yet, but I mean, I think yeah, he didn't it didn't really give you a chance to really kind of to really despise. I don't want to say hate, despise the villain in a sense. It's just kind of
I,
like it's just kind of like,
I,
well,
I,
if she was
I
just the what?
no, I couldn't agree anymore, man. It like
Yeah,
it moved so fast where it's like, okay, you see the villain, right? He's in the dojo. His
yeah,
homie happens to see Beijing with his chick, mentions it to him. Oh yeah, maybe I'm just tripping. Bam, knocks him out with a kick. They
oh
run
yeah,
into each
yeah,
other at school. They have this fight. And then when the staff, the school staff is breaking up the fight with little to no history with each other, the villain ponytail kid is over there.
yeah,
You really want to fight me?
yeah,
Meet me at the five boroughs. And it's
yeah.
like, you guys have like no history with each other. There's
Exactly.
like nothing going on here. I'm not even really sure why he yelled that out. It's like, okay, meet me at the five boroughs so we could fight without the teacher stepping in, I guess. But it's like, it just it happened so fast when he yelled that out to him, Fred.
Uh-huh.
When he yelled that out to him, immediately in my mind, I just couldn't help but think like of the reviews and say like, yeah, this is happening like way too quick. There's no character
Yeah,
development here
yeah.
when it comes to the villain. And by the way, through the whole movie, I don't think I got enough character development when it came to any of the
No,
villains.
no. It did. Even in the subway. Even in the
Oh
subway,
yeah,
when
yeah, he
hey, get out of
stalks
the
them.
way.
Yeah,
See, right there. I mean, see, okay, if we're going into the realistic outside the movie thing, we're going into the realistic side of it. That kid should have been ready, bro. Because I saw that coming a long time ago. You know what I mean? I would have been like, bro, like, don't even try. You know what I mean? He was just like, okay, cool, and he just walking and bam, he gets hit in the eye. It's like, dude,
mm,
like you didn't see that one, like I don't know. It just, yeah, and then it just cut from there, right? It didn't show
yeah.
anything else. He just walked
Mm,
away, and he just like, oh, whatever, like
yeah,
it
the
was
punch happens, and then it cuts to a different scene where he's got the black guy. They go to her dad's house,
Yeah.
or her dad, or to the pizza
To the
parlor,
pizza place. Yeah.
and then their story begins because he puts makeup on, tells him what to do, puts some ice on it. He finds out that, oh, the dad used to be a boxer. At the same
Yeah.
time, the dad owes some money to a couple of loan sharks, a couple of low level mob dudes, and like this
Yeah.
whole other story that I was interested in because I'm like, wait, how does these two stories combine, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now you got uh her dad that he borrowed some money to have his pizza spot, and now he can't pay it back.
Yeah.
So he used to be a boxer, the best in New York, I guess, and once upon a time,
Yeah.
and now he a couple of guys, a couple of goons go pay him a visit, but at the same time, young big Beijing is there,
Yeah. Stuffed
saves
crust.
him. He's yeah, yeah, stuffed crust Beijing. He's there, kicks the crap out of these dudes. That reminded me the way he was fighting that fight scene, Fred
Yeah.
in the alley. It
Yeah.
reminded me of Jackie Chan of like
Yes.
Rumble in the Bronx or something.
Yes. Yes.
Jackie Chan when he's fighting a bunch of dudes. Like a lot of things, it's different. Like Steven Seagal is like he knows everything. Like he's not surprised. Like here, here,
Yeah.
throw you
Yeah.
over there, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan, he fights like being surprised, like
Yeah. Yeah.
whoa, flip here,
And he's bouncing
oh,
off and
oh,
stuff on like
exactly.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
throwing things around. He goes back, hits a chair, like stuff like
yeah,
that, and
yeah.
it's fun, it's entertaining, and
I love that
that
scene.
scene
I love
reminded
that.
me
Yeah,
exactly of that stuff, man.
you took the words right out of my mouth, bro. Because that's the first thing I thought of. Like his style of fighting was, I thought that was awesome. I thought that was awesome because they did. I said, man, this is Jackie Chan. This is like a Jackie Chan style. You know what I mean?
It was
And
like
yeah,
Rumble in the Bronx, yeah.
yeah, yeah, Rumble in the Bronx. Exactly.
It,
Yeah,
it reminded me just like that. So he beats the crap out of these three goons that were there to put hands on his new girlfriend. She's not his girlfriend yet, his father. And I don't know, that kind of made me think a little bit like, all right, you put hands on these three dudes and you can't score one punch or anything on the high school ponytail kid. Like, like, all
I
right.
know. Right?
All right.
It's
So
just yeah,
Fred, talk to me. What was your thoughts on the whole boxing story, the side story that everybody was? I don't know. People were complaining about it. I
yeah.
I wasn't. I don't have a complaint about it. I have a complaint about after it. But what was your thoughts on it, man?
You know what, man? I just rolled with it. I didn't think it was a bad thing. Like I didn't think that it took over the film because I felt like he was dealing with what he was dealing with. And again, due to the film moving rather fast, it didn't give you time to kind of like take it all in. I started to think like, man, well, now he's gonna be in with these goons, this kid's gonna be in problem with these guys. He's got bigger fish to fry than that ponytail dude.
Mm,
But
mm.
that doesn't come. But I was like, I didn't take it as like I don't think the boxing thing took away from the film at all, to be honest with you. I just think it was a story that kept on going. I think they brought it in for a little bit because he tried to help, but then it just kind of like went sideways, and then that was pretty much it. But I don't think the way they made it, the way people make it sound, or the way it sounded in the reviews, it's not it doesn't dwell on just boxing. I think it just kind of cut in and cut out kind of deal again, rather kind of moving fast. That was my thought of it. Like it didn't bother me at all. Like it didn't like I just thought like the montage on the whole boxing thing and in the actual fight were rather kind of fast. It just sped right through. It didn't give me that feeling of like, oh yeah, he's ready. Like in the Rocky movies, like, oh yeah, now he's gonna go.
Right.
He's you know,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, this didn't feel like that. And yeah, I'll stop right there, and then I'll let you get into
I,
the
oh,
after
okay.
aftermath of that.
Okay, well, I'll give my thoughts on it first, man. I actually thought it was an important piece in the movie. Now,
Uh-huh.
some people exaggerate it and say like, "Hey, half the movie is about it." No, it's not half the movie.
No.
It's a good slice. I don't know, 20 minutes, probably somewhere
Yeah.
around there. It's a decent slice, but I
Hmm.
thought it was a very important part of the movie, Fred, and here is why.
Uh-huh.
Because it brought those two characters together and they
Yeah.
bond. They realize that they had a few things in common, right?
Hmm.
And this is the first time that you hear Stuffed Crust Beijing, his story on why his mom doesn't want him
Oh
fighting
yeah.
anymore
Yeah.
because of his brother. His brother
Yeah.
got jumped
Yeah.
after a karate tournament. Again, spoilers. It's right there. So
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
brother got jumped after a karate tournament back in Beijing, and while
Yes.
they're getting jumped, a dude busted out a filero, and
Yep.
Stuffed Crust Beijing froze and didn't help his brother out. So
Yeah.
mom is like, I don't want you fighting anymore. And I thought that was an important. I don't know if anybody made this correlation, but I did because
Yeah.
the dad, homegirl's dad, the girl's dad, he was going through kind of the same thing because his daughter didn't want him fighting.
Yeah. You know, I didn't
Yet
think about it like that. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, yet, Fred, both of them felt like they had to, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
as a man, sometimes you just feel like, you know what? I have to do that. I'm not just talking about fighting, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to do this. And
Yes.
I know there's a lot of chicks that are like, no, 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 you don't. You have a choice. It's like, no, no, no. You won't understand because if I don't do
Yeah.
this, I will I'll die inside and I will never be the same ever again. So I
Yeah.
need to do this. Whatever this is, I need to do it. And both of them felt that way. Both of them felt that they had
Yeah.
to well, one felt like he had to get back in the boxing ring and the other one felt like he did have to fight, right? And I think
Yes.
that was an important part right there, Fred, in good storytelling because one, as a father, the daughter doesn't want him fighting. The other one, as a son, the mother doesn't want him fighting. And I think they both shared that, Fred. I
Yeah.
actually liked it, man.
Yeah.
I
No.
actually liked it.
You know what? I even like it more now, seeing it that way. You know what I mean? You're right. You're right. It does make a lot of sense. It does make a lot of
Yeah,
sense. Plus, it helped build the character of of excuse me, of stuff crust or Beijing or whatever we call him. It built his story as well. Like now we understood,
mhm,
where he
mhm.
was coming from, and what why he would why he was said, hey, no more fighting, and that's it, keep it away, and that was it. And you're right, and then the dad too as well, with the daughter and stuff. But yeah, you're right. I
Yeah,
even like it more now when you put it that way. Yeah, I have to agree.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
have to
the
agree.
dad he sees obviously he's not into kung fu. He's a boxer, but he saw the footwork from Stuffed Crust. He
Yeah.
sees his footwork and he's all like, "Dude, teach me that. Teach me." And the power of that. I remember that from Bruce Lee.
Oh,
Just
the one inch
you
one
know, like
shot, yeah.
yeah, like that like that stuff was pretty cool. I liked it, man. I liked the whole hey, I'm gonna work your corner. Here's the problem that I have, Fred,
Uh-huh.
with the after of the boxing. It's like, okay, the boxing match, first of all, the boxing in that fight is horrible, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
As a boxing enthusiast who loves boxing, the boxing in that fight is horrible. But I can't help but root for the dad. It's like, come on, man. The mob dudes are there. The low level mob guy is there, and he's all like, like, yeah, finish him. He
Yeah,
starts doing illegal things, sends him to the hospital, and it's like, so what happened? Like,
yeah,
the story never finishes right there.
yeah,
Like what happened, man? So you sent this guy that owes you money to the hospital, and then what?
yeah,
Like, what happened in
yeah.
the boxing match? So did the other guy? get disqualified? Did you get paid?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
because you won. You won
So,
because the other guy got disqualified. He started elbowing you
yes,
in the face. So then, where's that money at? Because you technically won the fight, but it never goes back. It never circles around in what happened
so
in that
yeah,
boxing match. Like the outcome,
exactly.
we just see him in the hospital, and it's like, so what now?
Yeah.
That part bothered me, man.
You know what? I was waiting. I was waiting to hear like disqualification or something. Yeah,
Mm.
it never came. It never came. I was like, okay, well, just kind of rolled through again. It just kind of rolled through. You're right.
Yeah, and
You're
it's not
right.
like it's not like it was something that the referee didn't see. Like, hey, an elbow and the referee didn't see. No,
Yeah.
the dude was elbowing him. The referee was trying to stop him, and then he pushed the referee out of the way, and he hits him while he's down. It's like, okay,
Yes.
so then he won the fight. So then he got
Yeah.
paid, but no mentions of the money, no mentions of anything. It's like he's just in the hospital
Yeah.
now.
I think they probably just cut that stuff off, man, and just didn't, just I don't know, assume that we put it together. But you're right about that. Yeah, no, I saw that too. I'm
I,
like, okay, but
I will say this too, Fred. Now I know her dad ended up in the hospital because of all that.
yeah.
But that was pretty
Oh,
much the last time we seen him until the end of the movie. I mean,
yes,
when
yes.
Mr. Han comes, which he does, he shows up to help out Stuffed Crust. Um,
That's a
I don't
yeah,
I don't know how he finds out exactly where he lives or anything like that, but he shows up to help out Stuffed Crust. They visit him. All right. And that's the last time we see of the dad. I get it. He's in the hospital. I understand that part, but it's like they built this stuff. Chris and that dad built like such a bond that I thought was really important to me. And I was
yes,
just like, wow, man, this is great. But that's it. Like you don't see it anymore until the end of the movie. But Mr. Hunt, I guess he doesn't have anything else to do but to fly out to New York. He shows up. As soon as they started fighting in the kitchen, I knew it was
yeah,
him. Did you?
yeah, yeah. That reminded me of did you ever see those Pink Panther movies, the old school ones?
Yes.
It was
Yes.
how he had that one guy always jumping. That's what it reminded me of.
Yes.
Like it was kind of funny though. But you know what? But let me back up to what you were saying though first about the that we don't see the dad no more. Remember though, again, Stuff Crust he froze because he thought of his brother and he couldn't go into the ER. So
Right.
I think that was a little bit of a. I mean, I get it. It was cool for what it is. You kind of get it and you kind of roll with it. It is slightly weak of a story, but after
Mm,
it was like it doesn't tell you how many days he was in the hospital by the time he shows up with Jackie Chan. But we'll get to that after. It's like
mm.
it's like it's like and then she's upset at him. Obviously, I mean, it just I don't know, man. I don't know. It was just that did go kind of fast.
I,
Oh,
okay. Okay. Why is she so upset? Because they're okay. So they're going into the ER, right? And
yeah,
she's all like, "Hey, come on, come on!"
yeah,
And he's like standing there. It's like, okay, he's not the one that's gonna operate on your dad. Where do you want him to go? He's
yeah,
standing there. I don't know why she's so pissed off. Like, we need you. What do you need him for?
yeah, yeah,
He's at the hospital. He just happens to be standing outside. I get it. They're trying to build it where it's like he froze again because the dude can't get over the hump. He's a little bit of a puss when it comes to that. I understand, and he needs to get over that. I get what they're trying to build to. I just thought that was kind of a weak scene because I'm like kind of like we need you. The doctors they have your dad. They're rushing him into the ER. Where do you
yeah,
need him? He's
yeah. I think she
standing
needed.
there.
I think she needed it more for moral support, but I mean, at the end of the day, bro. But see, but then there is that one scene though. I mean, I probably would have stayed out myself because she did tell him you're responsible for him. What happens afterwards if you don't win? So he put,
Mm,
hey, forget that, bro. I'm not going in. I'm like,
right.
hey,
Right,
So I mean,
right.
I'm just, But
Yeah,
anyhow, as far as the when Jackie Chan shows up, or they're fighting inside the little apartment or whatever it is in the kitchen.
Mm, mm.
I really enjoyed that scene. You know,
Yeah,
because
so did I.
again, his style is like Jackie Chan. He's jumping on the table, you know, to get the frying
Mm,
pans, and they think, you know, they're doing all this stuff.
right.
I thought that was pretty awesome. I thought that was pretty awesome. And then, you know, when the lights come on, I think honestly it was a good for those people that know about Jackie Chan early on, because he's been around since Bruce Lee, dude. Like a lot of people don't know
Yeah.
that, you know.
Yes, he has.
It,
Yes.
and I think that, like you mentioned, Rumble in the Bronx, and then they came out with Super Cop and all these other movies, you know, that he
Mhm.
did. He was like a Tom Cruise of its time, you know, in the '90s with
Yeah,
the
dude.
stunt.
I mean, that was one of his biggest things. He would do all his own stunts. The
Yeah,
dude got hurt doing a lot of things. He got burnt
yeah,
pretty bad doing the Drunken Master.
yeah,
You know, that was a big thing about him when he came to the United States. That I remember when they advertised him, say he does his own stunts, and I was like, okay, cool. I already had seen him in the Drunken Master and knew that he had
yeah,
burnt his hands pretty badly going over some coals.
yeah, yeah, man. So I mean, I think this film was a good homage to his
Mm.
style of fighting, which right away, like I said, I mean, his style of fighting from the very beginning, I was like, oh wow, this is. I thought it was awesome, man. I thought it was awesome, but
Yeah.
it did make me think. It did make me think, like again, like he could beat this guy, man. He could beat this other dude. Like,
Yeah, okay,
you know,
exactly. Because all right, okay, so we don't get to see much of the villain in the movie. I
yeah,
mean,
no, we
you
don't.
get to see him a little bit here, a little bit there, so you don't get to see much of his fighting style. And I understand. I understand people that try to do so much, it looks cool, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna beat them in a fight. So I understand that Stuffed
Yeah,
Crust has all these flips and all this stuff that looks cool, whereas the villain he keeps it pretty simple. He never really did anything that wowed me. Where I was just like, damn, this guy really knows how to fight. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
he just threw a couple of simple kicks and punches, like
yeah,
but again, I understand if you're speaking reality, a lot of that flipping and everything like that, if you keep it simple, that could work to your advantage. So I get that, but it
yeah,
just really seemed like Stuffed Crust was on another level, skillful wise in martial arts, man. But
yes,
this thing that Mr. Han Jackie Chan comes in and now he's eating with the mom and everything, and he talks to her a little bit. He brings out the flyer of the 5 boroughs, and it's like, yeah, you know what? We gotta get you ready for this. Okay, so find a dojo, and I'll be back in a few days. I'm gonna
uh-huh.
go get someone to help you train. At the same time, Stuffed Crust, throughout all this, he had somewhat befriended his tutor that his mom helped him
Oh,
for
yeah,
calculus,
yeah,
some nerdy dude who's over there playing the guitar.
yeah,
He was a pretty cool character. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah,
I mean, he was fine, man. He just kind of
yeah.
laugh at, I guess, a little bit
Little
like a
comedic,
screech. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, a little bit like a
yeah, little
screech for Saved by the
comedic,
Bell or something.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so okay, this part, Fred, this part does kind of get to me a little bit. Okay, so
uh,
Mr. Han flies
oh yeah,
from he flies from Beijing to New York.
uh-huh.
Then he flies from New York to
To,
LA.
to LA, yeah,
Yeah, to LA to go see someone that he's never ever met before, right?
yeah, yeah,
All right, Daniel LaRusso. Here is one thing that I brought up last week when we talked about this movie before you and I watched it. I said,
yeah,
I hope they explain how Mr. Han and Mr. Miyagi met.
uh-huh.
Now, to a certain degree, they kind of do in the beginning of the
Yeah,
movie. For those that watch the movie actually starts with Karate Kid Part 2.
yes, uh-huh.
As soon as the movie starts, before the subtitles that I was bringing up, before they were in China, before any of that, The movie actually starts with Karate Kid Part 2 when Daniel LaRusso is with Mr. Miyagi in
I know.
Okinawa, and Mr. Miyagi tells them the story of I forget the story of I
Yeah,
know it a little vaguely, but somebody like somebody from Japan went to China, or they drifted off in a ship.
yeah,
They landed in China, and they both like became martial artists, and the
yes,
families were linked together. And then they went back to China. It was a little bit. It was a little bit of a cool story. I'm not gonna lie, but to me, I was still kind of like, all right, it's gosh, this is super duper, it's so far fetched, Fred, that it's like, okay,
yeah,
Mr. Miyagi, like he's like 30 years older than Mr. Han, or 20 years older than Mr. Han. They're super duper good friends. Like, really? Are they really? Like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. He never met Daniel LaRusso. He goes over there. He asks him for his help. Daniel LaRusso has no idea who he is. He explains to him a little bit. He doesn't even spend a full day there. He spends
no,
probably
no,
like 10 minutes
yeah,
talking to Daniel and saying like, "I'll see you in New York." And Daniel's like, "Ah, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go."
yeah,
Eventually he goes, Fred. And the thing that bothers me is like these two guys are acting like they're best buddies. Like
yeah.
they
Once
know,
they get
like they've
together,
known each other, and it's like, okay, I don't know what Mr. Han does. Okay, so he runs this kung fu school. He has time just to fly out to New York, and he's got the ends to fly out to New York, and then fly to LA, and then fly
come
back to
back
New York,
over.
fly
Yeah,
back to
no, right.
Beijing. And Daniel LaRusso, he doesn't have anything going on, where he's just gonna say like, yeah, I'll just jump on a plane and fly to New York. Look, I get it.
Right.
It's in the same country, but it's not like driving across town from LA to New York. It's a
Yeah,
little bit of a mission. It takes a little bit of planning, but all right. He gets out there, and they start training this kid, Fred. I mean, what's your thoughts on all that, man?
you know what? I agree with that too as well. I think honestly, man, I think honestly that it's just a thing of bad editing. To be honest with you, because I want to say and I hope that they did film a lot more to it to kind of build that a little bit. You know, we
Mm,
don't know if there was a phone call later or he called them and said, "Hey, let me meet you for dinner while we're still here in LA. Let's talk about this and whatever." And then that convinced Daniel Russo to fly to New York. Whatever in between that, whatever happened that they never showed, it seemed like it did. Yeah, you're right. It just seems like, okay, what the heck? But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of deleted scenes that we
mm,
missed that
okay.
probably should have been in the film, but they cut it for time. I mean, what was it, like an hour and a half, something like that? An hour and 30 something
Something
minutes.
like that. Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
could
It
have made it
wasn't
an
long.
hour and 45 minutes, bro. If they could have made it an hour 45 minutes just to extend the story, just stretch the story a little bit more, I think it would have been a lot better. I mean, regardless of the point, I still enjoyed it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I just at that point I did see like, well, that was kind of fast, like he just showed
Very
up, like
fast.
I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Very fast. And it's like, okay, well, let's start training them because they got a week. When
yeah,
Daniel LaRusso shows up, it's like, okay, they got a week before the 5 boroughs, and because he's such a skillful fighter already, Daniel LaRusso says, okay, maybe a week does work to
yeah,
add a couple of new tools to his toolbox here.
yeah,
They threw in a little bit of comedy in there, right? When they're
yeah,
both, tossing stuff crust around and everything, beating them up.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, all that, it kind of took me a little bit out of the story. I was like, okay, you're throwing a little humor. That's cool,
yeah,
but I need to believe this. I need to believe that
yeah,
because he's got this big fight coming up, this tournament. The tournament went on. I thought it was pretty cool. It takes place in different spots of New York. Um,
yeah,
they kind of went through that pretty quick. I heard complaints, Fred, about, oh, the way the sound effects and the little
close
pop-ups of
ups,
the points.
yeah,
I actually like that. I
Yeah, and I like
enjoyed
it
that.
too.
It
I did
made
too.
me realize that instead of them having like a board up there where it's like, okay, 1 point, or just keeping it in mind like, hey, it's 1-2 right now or something.
Yeah,
I
they
actually
showed
like
it.
that little
Yeah,
video game pop up like Pam, you know?
yeah,
Did you
yeah.
got any complaints about that?
I, no, I actually like that part too as well. I did like that because yeah, like it just kind of made it easier. You didn't have to keep track of it, and then not only that, it didn't really show much of the tournament to begin with. It was
Right,
pretty much his
right,
own fight. It didn't show like his. You know how the other one they showed the the enemy, if you will, or the guy he's gonna the challenge or whatever it is. The next guy he's gonna fight. It didn't
right.
show him winning and like, oh, this one's gonna be tough. No, it just kind of like, okay, they're gonna fight him, and then that was it. But no, I had no complaint over it. But you know what's funny, and just to kind of like slow it down because we're going fast on it, like the movie was
Mm,
somehow, some way, something about it. I still enjoyed it though, even all the way through. Like I was watching all that, I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. Could it have slowed down? Yeah, I think it could have slowed down a little bit and build up a little bit of the story. But I think they were more focused on getting to the tournament. But I will say this: here's one thing I did enjoy about that though: how it transitioned, how Jackie Chan and Daniel Russo meet up and all this other stuff, right? But to me, if you've seen, obviously Karate Kid, you know,
mm,
uh, one, two, and three, or even one for that matter at that point, um, and you watch, yeah, and you've seen the Karate Kid remake with Jaden Smith.
mm.
I really thought that this film was a standalone film because you don't see if you're sitting there going, oh, when's Daniel Russo going to come up? Because it's going to get good at that point. You're missing the whole story. I thought it was pretty awesome how they merged both of those universes together. How they brought in Daniel LaRusso. Maybe it wasn't a great execution, but how they merged the remake and the original, how they brought it in.
Mm.
Again, the transition was a little choppy, but I thought it was great at that point. Like, when I seen them working together, I was like, okay, it just kind of like, now it doesn't seem like the remake is standalone on its own. There's a connection to Daniel LaRusso. That's how I saw that part. But as far as the
Okay.
tournament, but as far as the tournament, it just seemed like, yeah, it was over. What it was over like? Was it a week? Because it was 5 days or five boroughs
Yeah,
over so many
yeah.
days or whatever.
Right.
But if I remember correctly, I only saw him fight like three times before he got to the main guy. I mean,
Yeah, it kind of rushed through the tournament a little bit with the
yeah,
music, and I thought it was fine. I mean, it would have been cool to have seen a little bit more fighting going on. By the way, the fight scenes in this movie are a heck of a lot better. I mean,
yeah,
especially since this guy Stuffed Crust Beijing, he actually knows how to throw down.
yeah,
Um, no offense to Ralph Macchio, but it just he doesn't seem like he knows martial arts, you know.
yeah,
Um, or even Johnny Lawrence, maybe a little bit more to a certain
yeah.
degree, but this kid actually knows how to throw down, and it shows. And the fight scenes are the fighting is better, but the fight scenes are a lot shorter. They kind of fast track through it. I thought the only thing that really threw me off in there is you go back to these goons again. These
Oh yeah,
Italian goons, they're there at the tournament, and it's like they're in front of everybody. After one of the fight stuff Chris has is like right there in front of everybody. Okay, let's go get them. They goes go get them. They
oh,
go on the
oh
mat
yeah,
in front of everybody. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kidnap
yeah,
them right there in
yeah,
front of everybody. You're
yeah.
not gonna wait to catch them at the car, like in the alley, or follow them right there, just in front of everyone. Hey, let's go. Hey, come here, right? And obviously, Daniel Larusso are there, Jackie Chan on there, so they beat the crap out of these three dudes that I don't know what kind of criminals they are, But good gosh, man, what I have no idea what their plan was. They're in front of everybody, security included, that you're gonna just get yourself involved like that, like son of a bastard, man.
And
But
they all got beat up by everybody too, though. By Jackie
yeah,
Chan,
man,
by Daniel, and everybody. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was strange, man. It was strange that they did that. Going now to the final fight scene.
Mhm.
Um, again, I it was cool. The final fight scene to me was cool, Fred. The only thing that was missing is that I didn't really have a connection with the villain. I just
Yeah,
that was the only thing. I thought the fight scene was pretty good. Wasn't great, but again, it's a karate tournament. It's by points, just like part one, right? I thought the them doing it on top of a skyscraper. I thought that looked pretty cool. Um, the way it ended, like the way part one ends with the crane kick to the face, making him bleed, I thought was really cool, right? This one, it ends with a body shot, and he's not knocked out, he's not bleeding, he's not anything like that. As a matter of fact, he gets back up and tries to cheat afterwards, which kind of threw that off. I would have rather it be a kick to the face and either knocks him out or makes him bleed or something. But it's a kick to the body. He's on the ground. He's all like, oh, like he's mad about it. Like that kind of threw
yeah,
me off a little bit, Fred. How
yeah.
say you?
You know what? That I didn't hear a lot of it. It kept freezing, bro. But I know where you're going with that.
Mm.
Yeah, when they're gonna trap our tiger, they're gonna trap the tiger. And
They're
then
gonna
they
trap the
practice
tiger.
at the subway, under the subway, and
Right.
so on and so forth.
Right.
The little montage of that part. And you're right. I think if you watch, I don't know if you said this, but like I said, it froze. You had the crane kick, in the first one, and then in the second one he tries it and it fails. And then he had the drums in the second one. I
Hmm.
forgot the third one. What Mike Barnes was just too much for him. But in this one, I think they build up the. Oh no! In the remake, you had what was it? The kick or the sliding or whatever it was. I forgot what it was. But in this one, yeah, it was that dragon kick or something, and then sliding underneath the kick or whatever. Right?
Right.
That
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was the signature win in this film. You know, because he catches them when they fought at school. He caught him on that. But I will say this. Oh, go ahead.
No, right. But what I'm saying, Fred, what I'm saying is that in like in part one, it was a kick to the face. It makes him bleed. Like this one right here, it's a kick to the body, and it doesn't even hurt him. Like you see when he falls, and it shows a close up, and he's more pissed off than he is hurt. He's
Yeah,
just
because
got
he
like,
lost.
oh
Yeah,
damn it. Like I would have rather it be a kick to the face. I see
yeah,
some blood, whether he knocks him out or not, but something because he didn't even earn his respect for it because the fight's over. He gets up and he still tries to hit him afterwards, cheating. And I'm like, okay, could we have picked something different? Could we have picked a kick to the face? Could we have picked something that would have been a little bit more like, oh, damn, he got him. He got him, like, man. But it was a kick to the body. He falls and it shows a close up of his face where he's mad, like, oh, damn it. Let me now get up and try to cheat afterwards.
man, is it frozen?
You're freezing for a
Yeah,
little bit.
the stinky's freezing on me over here, bro.
Well, I think the
Yeah,
worst thing about it, Fred, was I didn't care enough about the villain. That's
yeah,
basically what it comes down to. I didn't care
yeah,
about enough about the villain, and I think the finisher kick, yes, the whole flip scene and everything like that, training for all that, that looks cool. But a kick to the body, to me, it needed to be to the face.
yeah. You just smash them up. Well, I know.
Yes.
I think it was more about in this sense. It was more about the win. In the sense, it wasn't so much as because it wasn't really that personal. If you really think about it, at the end of the day, I thought too when he was going to try to get up to hit him, and then he he's over him, and he has his
Mm,
fist up. like and it was,
Hmm.
like,
Right.
and I thought he was gonna do the nose thing like in part two, like I thought he was gonna do the
Oh,
nose thing, but
yeah,
I'm just like, but I tell you, I don't know, I enjoyed the part where he got up and he still gave him his hand to get him up. He still showed him respect on top of that.
no, that's cool. I
Yeah,
saw that coming. I don't think
yeah,
anybody really believed that he was gonna hit him afterwards.
yeah.
That
I
that
don't
would have
think
been
so.
pretty cool, man. That if
I,
he would have, well, you wouldn't even have to see his face, just "Huh," and then the fist come up with some blood just dripping like that.
you know,
That would have
and a
been
couple,
something, man.
like a couple of teeth in there are like, oh,
Yes,
there you go.
yeah, like that would have been something. But no, I mean, look, you're right. It wasn't personal enough, and it separates it from the rest of the Karate Kid movies because all
Yeah,
the other Karate Kid movies they make it so personal. Even the remake,
yeah,
with Jaden Smith, it's a
yeah.
heck of a lot more personal. This one, this guy doesn't bully stuffed
No,
crust
he
like that, and
doesn't.
we keep calling him stuffed crust because he has two nicknames in the movies, Beijing and stuffed crust. So
Yeah,
you'll hear them call
I'm
him that, but
saying,
he doesn't really get bullied. He gets
yeah, he
punched
doesn't.
once. He gets punched once in the subway, and then both of them throw down at school, and that's pretty much
That
the
was
only
it.
interaction they had.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
doesn't get bullied at all, and so it wasn't really that personal. Um, so again, I thought it should have been something different, man, just to end the fight. But
yeah,
nonetheless, the movie ends like they all live happily ever after. They are all at the pizza parlor. Everything's going good. He works
yeah.
there now. Sends a pizza, delivers it from New York
To Los
to
Angeles. Yeah,
LA.
yeah.
Yes, to Daniel LaRusso, and that is when you see Johnny Lawrence.
Yes, buddy. Yes, I totally love that, man.
That
Love
you
that
know
part.
what,
I
Fred?
love that.
You know what, Fred? That made the movie right there for me, man.
Yeah.
It
Yes,
it,
it
it
did.
it really did.
It
It,
did.
it it completed the movie for me right there. I was just like, damn, you got John Lewis, and he's drinking a Coors.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
He's
the little bottle, the little bottle. You just
he's
you
he's
know what,
drinking
bro?
Coors.
Here's my thing. If you see the original, if you even see the first one, anyways, the first Karate Kid, you can still kind of, okay, cool with this ending, right? But it just
Mm,
makes more of an impact if you've seen Cobra Kai. When you see Johnny Lawrence in there, and it kind of
it,
closes it off. Like, so I don't know if there's gonna be another one where they just kind of incorporate everybody else again, or they could end it here. You know,
I,
I think
you,
they'll be
you
good.
know, okay, all the reviews I heard said that this movie has zero connection to Cobra Kai. That is 100% true until the very, very, very end,
Yeah,
because then you're
yeah,
gonna be like, wait a second, Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence hanging out together? Like, how did that happen? And
yeah,
that is probably only like 60 seconds of the movie at the
yeah.
very tail end, maybe
And the
2 minutes
great
long.
60 seconds it is.
It's a
Yes, yes,
great scene, by the
yes.
way. But that made the
Yeah,
movie awesome right there, man.
yeah,
But yeah, so the whole movie, is there any connection to Cobra Kai? None at all. No mentions of it whatsoever until the last 2 minutes of that movie. Then it's like, oh, okay. If you didn't watch Cobra Kai,
yeah.
you're gonna be a little bit baffled, like how the hell did these guys connect like that? But overall, Fred, um, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, man. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I went to the
Same
theater
here.
to watch it, man. All the
Yep,
complaining
same
I
here.
heard everybody do. And by the way, I have some complaints. I just gave them. I do have a few complaints, right? I thought the movie
Uh-huh.
was rushed and pushed along, but you know what, man? Honestly, maybe it's because I thought maybe I went in there with low expectations, but I actually enjoyed it, man. I thought it was all right.
Same here. Same here. I think also, you know what? I want to say this too. There's a misunderstanding when people say there's an end credit scene. Technically, it's not an end credit. It's the last scene in the film because there is no mid or end credit at the end. It's just the credits roll through and that's it. Because that's at to the very end. But
Right.
it's the last scene where you see Johnny Lawrence in there. So there's no really end credit. It was still part of the film. That's what it is.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
I stood there to the very end of the credits because it was
same
back
here.
and forth of like, oh, credit scene, kind of credits, and it no, no, it's not.
Yeah,
It's just it from one scene it goes to say Karate Kid Legends and then cuts to the next scene. But
yeah,
there are no credits. Once you see the credits, movie's
that's
done.
it.
You
Yeah,
don't have to
yeah,
see you don't have to there's no
yeah,
ending surprise scene once the credits roll. So
that's right.
all that confusion of like, oh, there is a end. No, it isn't. It's not.
Right.
There's no credits. They just use the Karate Kid
Exactly.
Legend logo to switch from one scene to the next.
Exactly.
But
And for those of you who have not seen it yet and are hearing this for the first time, you heard it here on Moss Movies and Shows. Right?
yes, yes, you
Yeah.
did with no confusion. So once you see the credits, movie's done. You don't have to sit
Yeah,
there because I sat there
exactly.
to make sure I got it all. And yeah,
Yeah.
once you see the credits, that's it. Movie's over.
Yeah.
But overall, Fred, I say if you're a fan of the Karate Kid, I say watch this. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Another thing that I was getting is that Daniel LaRusso is not in this movie that much. He's in it a little bit more than people were making it out to be. I don't want to
Yeah.
exaggerate and say like, "Whoa, he's in this movie," like he's in this movie a lot. But I thought his presence was felt
Yeah.
pretty decently, man. Especially the way so many other critics were coming out and saying like, "Oh man, you know, he's not in this movie. He's like in a little piece of this movie." And then it's just the fight scenes, and then the movie's over. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no.
No. Yeah.
There's a little bit more to that. I think there's
Yeah.
enough of his presence being felt. You don't see him till I don't know, 45 minutes into the movie, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
but he's
It was good.
he does have his yeah, he has his part in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I
But
thought it was good too. I think because again, I think people misunderstand it because of the trailers. They thought it's going to be Jackie Chan and Daniel Russo training this one dude for this ultimate fighter, and technically it is, but it's not, because the kid already knows. They're just coming
yeah,
in there and dance a little bit.
I mean you got to develop the kid. You got to develop
Yeah,
stuffed crust. If you're going to have LaRusso and Jackie Chan in the entire movie, you're gonna overshadow this new character that they're trying to
yeah,
build. Which by the way, I want to go on record and saying I love that kid. I thought that kid did
yes,
really good, man.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I thought
I
so too.
thought
I
he
think
did
that
really good.
the love interest was a little choppy as well. I mean, I don't know if they made it seem like she was in love. She fell in love with him, and it was just kind of like, wait, but you were with this dude last night. I don't
Right.
know, whatever, right? But I mean, it's like I don't know, But hey, but but no, you know what? Yeah, aside, I know it sounded like we were kind of like giving it a hard time of like the way it chops through and stuff. But it was, you know what, man? It was an enjoyable film. I really enjoyed it though, for what it is.
I did too. Yeah,
You
so
know,
did
for what
I.
it is. Just kind of like, you know what? Like, yeah, why not? I thought Daniel
But
LaRusso's part was good. Huh?
let me tell you, and I'm not exaggerating. I went to go watch it in the evening. At the end of the movie, people
Yeah.
clapped. People
Really?
clap. Yes,
Nice.
yes.
Nice.
Gosh, I should have recorded that. People clapped at the end of
Nice.
this movie, and I started clapping myself. Like, damn, everyone's this is what we're doing. Okay,
Yeah,
let's do it,
why
man.
not?
I,
I
I
hope that
enjoyed it.
happens.
I thought it
Yeah,
was a fun film. I thought it was a fun movie. Definitely has some flaws here and there.
yeah,
All the flaws that I pointed out already. But overall, hey man, I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. It
yeah.
was worth my money to go watch in theaters.
Same here, man. I think that if you're a Karate Kid fan and you're debating like I was last week, if you're on the fence about it, and if you got time and you got time to kill or whatever, you got like, hey, you know what? Um, Go check it out, man. I think it's good, man. It's good. Don't walk into expecting this big old Cobra Kai Daniel Russo thing. Just go in and check it out. I think it's enjoyable. I think it's very
Yeah,
enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable film. It wasn't as bad as they made it in the reviews. I don't think it was. that bad, to be honest with you. It was pretty good. It
Yeah,
was really good. You know?
and they do leave it open for another one. Doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
mean that they're gonna make another one, but they do leave it open for another one, especially with Miyagi Do. Um,
Yeah, me, I think so.
but Fred, out of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, one being the sorriest, what do you rate this movie?
You know what, man? I'm gonna say like an 8.5. I'll
Okay,
say eight point
okay,
five. You know,
okay,
it's not.
okay.
You know, it's a little bit. It surpassed my expectations a little bit more because
Yes,
it was just kind of like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. But it surpassed it. I think 8.5 because it is enjoyable. It is
right.
enjoyable. You're kind of like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
It's like, you know, and I thought the same thing with the boxing thing because they all half excuse me, half of the film boxing. It's like they merged two scripts together and stuff. I did not see it that way at all. I was
I
sitting
did
there.
not.
I'm really sitting there like, this isn't bad. Like, what the heck? What's everybody talking about? You know, I was like, man, this is pretty good. I liked it, man. I liked it.
Y-
I
Yeah,
really did.
I'm gonna give it a nice hard 7.
Uh-huh.
I did not have a problem with the whole boxing training either. The only thing, the only difference that this movie has from all the other Karate Kid movies is the bullying. He doesn't get bullied. He
Yeah, yeah,
sparks a rivalry with this other dude who happens to be this karate champion of the 5 boroughs already. So, but he doesn't get bullied, and that's the difference
yeah.
from all the other ones. Even in part 2 and part 3, like Mike
Yeah.
Barnes just Mike Barnes would just pick on him any chance he got, man. You know what I mean? And heck, he's on the rope.
I
He's all
know.
like, "Oh, I'll drop you, man. Sign the contract." You don't
I know that
you don't
character.
get that. And then Chosen, he goes over there, he starts tearing up Mr.
Man,
Miyagi's little place, and teachers, he teach you how to fight
yeah,
with stick, like none of
you
that
insult my
happens.
honor.
Yeah, insulting
Yeah,
my honor. Yeah, like he does not get bullied in this movie,
yeah.
so that's probably the only thing that's really missing. It's more character development on him and the relationships that he's making with homegirl and her father, and him dealing with his mom as well.
Yes, and you know what? He's a kid that already knows. He's not
Yes,
taught
right.
no. It's not like they. Well, Jackie Chan takes him under his wing to teach him right. We don't see all that. By the time we see it, he already knows how to fight. You know, so
Yes,
yeah, it
yeah,
was just
yeah.
yeah,
So,
it was just
but
so
I like it. I'll give it a hard 7. Fred here
nice.
gives it an 8.5. All
Correct.
right, man. Well,
Hold
hey, look.
on. I gotta share. Oh, go ahead. I gotta share something with you, but go ahead.
Oh no, well, look. Whenever it comes out on some streaming platform, I'm gonna watch it again.
Well, same here. Same here,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Same here.
yeah.
On
All right,
exiting
Fred.
the
What do you
theater,
got?
I was like, oh, so I had to go get my cup, my Cobra Kai, my Karate Kid Legends cup here. Where is it? There you go. Something like that,
There you go,
right?
man.
You know,
There you
and
go.
then it has, I guess he's kicking or whatever. I don't know, some kind of, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was
Okay.
like, oh man. I said, wow, this is cool. And I said, you know what? It's either one or the other. I said, you know what? It's my birthday. It's my treat to myself, my gift to myself. This is a happy birthday to me, Theo. So I got that, and then I grabbed the bucket, man, the popcorn bucket.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
you know. So
Everything is karate.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? You know
Nice.
what? I will say this because he tells them everything's kung fu, right? He doesn't say everything's
Right.
karate. He tells them everything's kung fu. So he
Right.
says when you make the pizza, and this is a little, this is after the film. Everything's kung fu. When you make pizza, everything, when you do this, when you do that, everything's kung fu.
Hmm.
I came out of the theater and there's a restroom, a co-ed restroom, so it's just the toilet
Okay.
seat,
Yeah.
I went in
Yeah.
there because I had to use the restroom, and I'm lifting the seat up, but I'm not touching
Yeah.
it. But
Right.
it just felt weird, like everything's kung fu. Like I'm like, okay, everything's like It was just weird. You know, you come out of
The heck?
you come out of those Bruce Lee movies and you feel like, oh wow, I can do this. I can do this. It was just stupid, man. But anyways, I washed my hands. I went and got my bucket. And then, side note, guys, after I'm by myself, I go, I'm gonna go home. I went and got myself some, being in California is a beautiful thing, bro. I got me
Mm,
some In and Out Burger, bro. I parked. Just kind of soaked in the film a little bit, and I was like, oh, I did the out of theater review before.
I saw it.
My
I
first
saw
watch of
that.
the theater.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I got me some In and Out Burger, man, and just came home and took care of what I needed to take care of and enjoyed the rest of my day and my evening, with my girl and stuff like that. But it was good, man. It was good. It was a good thing. I enjoyed
yeah,
it. I really
yeah.
enjoyed it. I really
Yes,
enjoyed that
sir.
film. It's not.
So,
We're not gonna say it's
yeah,
the greatest film. It's, oh my god. But it's enjoyable, man. It's enjoyable. I won't say it's what they say. It's decent. I won't say. I said it's enjoyable. I'll say it's
yes, yes,
enjoyable.
it is. Absolutely. And I will watch it again when it comes
Definitely,
out of theater. That
definitely.
is Fred from Two Face Entertainment, Cholo Trucker, M.A.S. Movies and Shows. If you guys get a chance, go check out Karate Kid
Yeah.
Legends. Catch you guys on next one.
Peace.
Hasta la vista, baby.